Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Another Zen Withins'day update. I'm sorry that I missed you all last week. I needed a day off to disconnect from everything, and that included making any videos or honestly getting on any technology. So thank you for being patient I took a week off, but I'm back. It's February 22nd to 2223. Seems like good numerology to me. And I've got a lot of things I want to talk with you about today. So I want to talk a little bit about the energies right now and what's going on. And I actually have my tuning forks, and I think I'm going to do a tune for us at the end of this video. So make sure you watch the whole thing. So at any rate, we have some intensity going on right now. We are leading up to the spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere in March, and I have been consistently told by my guides that as we reach these very important dates, these conjunctions, that the energies that are coming in are going to get stronger and stronger, because we're really at a very fast pace of how we're shifting right now. And the winter solstice on December 21st was really significant. It shifted a lot of things for a lot of people. And I'm sure if you were to actually track back and look at when some things shifted for you, it would be around that time when those energies came in. And so the equinox is going to be no different. But leading up to these big influxes of light, we normally have a lot of stuff that we have to look at and a lot of things that we have to let go of. And for me, it's been very much about how can I be more in a place of self-love and self-acceptance and drop more deeply into that and be more clear on what I need from those people around me in terms of honoring that. And we can't really get clear on what we need from others if we don't know what we need from ourselves. And so I briefly mentioned in my video a couple of weeks ago that I'm seeing a lot of shifts in the masculine and feminine dynamic, and I have a lot of people in partnership coming to me saying that they're expressing themselves in a new way in partnership right now. And I'm not surprised by that, because in January I witnessed this influx, as the wind comes in here, witnessed this influx of divine masculine energy anchoring on the planet, which I knew was going to shake some stuff up. I understood how it was going to impact the masculine energies in all of us, but I wasn't sure how it was going to impact the feminine energies. And what I'm witnessing, whether you're in a male or female body, no matter how you gender identify, is that our feminine energy is a little angry and frustrated right now. You may be very acutely aware of this if you're in a female body, but I'm noticing that there's a lot of anger and a lot of rage and a lot of frustration coming up about the fact that our environment, our world, our culture doesn't really create a lot of space for us to be in our feminine energies, including being in trust of our intuition, our emotions, having space for our emotions, having space for our sensitivity, having space to just get quiet and be still and rest and go inward. And so there's some frustration energy that's clearing right now. And I think we're seeing that in the way that Mother Earth is purging right now as well. There's a lot of really big things that she's moving through from a natural disaster standpoint that is, I think, a reflection of that energy. And I've got clients in both male and female bodies coming to me and saying, hey, I'm really frustrated. I've got all these emotions that I didn't know were inside me, and I'm glad they're coming out, but I don't really know what to do with all this energy. I don't really know what to do with all this expression, all these things that have been buried. And so a lot of my guidance has been to help people to get grounded, to help people to get into their bodies, to help people to express it physically, creatively, journaling, getting that energy out. And so if you're feeling that, just know that you're not alone. And sometimes it looks like a little bit of a dark night of the soul that we sometimes go through when we have these realizations of things that we haven't processed, that we haven't looked at, that we haven't sat with in the past. And so when that comes up, it shakes up, it makes us wobbly, it shakes everything up, which is what the intention is, right? We need to sometimes be shaken out of our stupor. And so one of the themes this month is this idea of surrendering to source and surrendering it to source. And you can replace source with the earth if that's an easier way to look at it for you. They're one and the same to me, honestly, because everything is source. But where are we in resistance, and where can we surrender? Where can we let go? Where can we take these big feelings, allow them to be expressed, and then when we go to that place, perhaps in the mental body, of saying, what does this mean for my life? If I come to these new realizations, these new truths, these new understandings of what I'm really feeling, what does that mean for my life? What needs to change? Sometimes we get really overwhelmed if we go right to that place. And so we may not know what actions we need to take right now. We may just be in the feeling phase, and we're coming into Pisces season, which is very much about feelings, right? And so you may be feeling some of this instability. You may be feeling some of this unrest. You may be feeling some resistance energy coming up in your being. And now is not really the time to take a whole bunch of definitive action unless you feel solid in your entire being about that action. If you're grasping, if you're pulling and you're trying to make something happen and you're doing it from a very anxious space, you're not going to really create a good lasting change for yourself. So now is the time to just be with the feelings as they come up, right? Allow them to be fully expressed, allow them to be fully processed, and make space for that feminine energy. Because that anger, that frustration, that rage, or that sadness, or that grief, or that fear, whatever it is real. And if you don't allow it to be expressed in your emotional being and in your physical being, then it gets repressed into the body. And that's why we have disease processes that we get into. So it's important right now to have an outlet, I think, to have an outlet to express. And this idea of surrendering it to the earth, surrendering it to source, when it does come up and you don't know what to do with it, offer it, right? Offer it up to source, offer it up to the earth and say, I am not sure what any of this means. I just know that it's been buried inside of me for a really long time, and I can't continue to keep it buried inside of me. It needs to come out. It needs to be expressed. It needs to be released. And then maybe after you've journaled, after you've created with that energy, after you've let it come up, you get really clear on some things that you want to share with those around you, right? Of how you want some things to change, of how maybe you need to be met differently in partnership. Maybe you need to be met differently in friendship even. And just be with the process. Don't rush the process. I'll also say that because I'm seeing such a shift in the feminine and how she's being expressed and removing some of these blockers that have been in place of allowing emotional expression and allowing what I call the wild feminine to be expressed, that you may find that some ways that you've been operating in your feminine energy, whether you're in a male or female body, it doesn't matter, is shifting, right? So the way you're in your intuitive knowing, the way that you're in your discernment, the way that you're in your emotions, the way that you're in your energy field, the way that you create, those energies might be shifting right now. And so that's a process, right? It may feel a little uncomfortable for a little bit as we move through this. And on a really practical level, if you're in partnership, and I'm seeing this across the board in all of the partnerships that I'm helping people with when they're coming to me as a client, whether they're in a same-sex marriage or not, that some of the traditional roles that we've played, maybe we've been in a traditional feminine role and our partner's been in a traditional masculine role, maybe that's going to get shaken up a little bit. Maybe some of us are going to come to an understanding that, hey, I don't really want to do that anymore. That's not in alignment with me. And so just be open. If you're in partnership, be open to how does your partnership need to change in order to create the spaciousness for both parties, right? To be who they really want to be and to love themselves unconditionally. And if you're not in partnership, it doesn't really matter. Not that it does matter if you care that you want to be in partnership. That's not what it doesn't matter if you're in partnership or not. You're still going to feel this, right? So on the inward landscape, you're going to feel a shift in the masculine and feminine dynamic within you, right? In your being energy and in your doing energy and how those energies interact, okay? So let's do a little bit of a anchoring for just a moment. And I'm going to bring my tuning forks out and we're going to just anchor into the earth. So what I've been doing in the mornings, because I've been finding that these energies get really activated in the middle of the night, and then I wake up and my nervous system feels a little out of whack. And I think it's just the bigness of what we're moving through and what we're clearing right now. Our nervous systems are having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with it. What I've been doing in the morning for the first 10 or 15 minutes is just going out and putting my bare feet on the earth and talking to Mama Earth and saying that I hear her, I see her, I feel her, and I just keep saying thank you. Thank you for helping me to release this energy. Thank you for helping me to be connected to my body. Thank you for helping me to be present. If earth energy and connecting with her in that way is not your thing and you're more in connection with creator or God or source in some other way, just replace the words, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the tuning fork in. And the tuning fork is basically going to shake loose anything that's in resistance in your field, right? That's the intention that I'm going to have when I strike the fork. And one way that we can shift out of being in this reactive place to more of this proactive place is if we decide what we want to orient our being around, right? So you all are divine creator beings, and you can orient your field to any vibration you want. And if you're not in control of that, guess what is in control of that? Everything around you, right? So like we talked about last month, part of being a WayShower is activating your vibration. So before I strike the fork, I want you all to think about an intention of what you want your being to be oriented around. For me, right now, the simplest thing that I've been working with is I just want to be more love. I want to experience more love. I want to be more love. I want to be held in love. I want to be love. That's been my intention. And try to keep it simple. Pick a frequency like peace, love, harmony, excitement, joy, something that you can orient around. And then I want you to take it a step further, and I want you to visualize something in your mind's eye. It can be a color, it can be a place, it can be a person, it can be a thing that represents that frequency. I'm seeing in my mind's eye for love, for me, a beautiful formation of a cloud formation in the shape of a heart. And now if that happens behind my head, I'm going to lose my stuff. That's what I'm visualizing. Okay, so we're going to visualize whatever it is that you want to see that represents this frequency, and you're going to orient to that frequency, and you're going to listen to the tuning fork, and it doesn't matter how the sound comes through. Okay, this is an intention thing. And we're going to see and feel and experience anything that's not in alignment with that vibration, just vibrating out of our field, just falling down to the earth, returning to source, being transmuted back into source consciousness. Okay? So take a deep breath, bring your intention in, bring your visualization in, and breathe. And you're going to hear me take some nice deep breaths probably. And I'm using a tuning fork today. I could just as easily be using my voice. I could be using a singing bowl. Ooh, that's a good one. I can use the plane that's flying overhead. All intention. I can use the train whistle. I love that all these sounds are coming in. It's quite awesome, actually. Keep orienting to your truth, your vibration. We're just going to allow all this sound to dislodge what is not that. I'm just hearing the birds too. Everything can help, right? Everything can help to shift that energy out. Trains are actually fantastic for clearing energy. They move so much energy. You may want to shake the body off a little bit. Keep focused on your intention. What are you wanting to call in? I'm feeling a lot of chaos energy clearing out. I love this train. It's like doing exactly what it needs to do. It's like just shaking a whole bunch of shit loose. If we're not calibrating to what we want our frequency to be, then we're calibrating to all the noise in the environment around us. And I'm not talking about actual noise. I'm talking about distraction energy. I'm talking about fear consciousness. I'm talking about the things that are traveling through our airwaves all the time because our technology uses vibration, right? We transmit information across the airwaves, so it's all around us all the time. So we have to be intentional about what we want to anchor into. And for me, I'm feeling this as a pain in my head as this is clearing on the left side of my body. You might be noticing some stuff clearing out in other places. And it just looks like negative self-talk in my field that's clearing. Voices, right? Things that aren't true. Deep breath. So I've been using the 144 hertz, which is a really good fork to clear out a lot of negative junky stuff. Maybe you've got some stuff in your body that needs to be cleared out. And I'm going to move into the 528 hertz. And when I tune this fork, it feels to me like unconditional love coming in. So it's really tuned to DNA repair, but I just feel it as a very clarifying energy. And let's settle into Mama Earth or Father Sky, and just really in this moment, just surrender anything that isn't the frequency that you want to hold. And don't get caught up in what that means. Don't let the mental body interject here. Just be present and letting go. Clocks are coming in. Thank you. Everything that isn't love, in my opinion, really isn't quite that real. Like, love is the true vibration underneath everything, even when we don't realize it. That's why I like to calibrate to that frequency. But I could just as easily replace that with peace or harmony, joy. Breathe. Nice deep breath here. Feels much better. So you don't have to have sound to do this. It's the thing that works the best for me. Something else may be different. Even just listening to a piece of music that speaks to you can help. But try to be intentional right now, you all. When we're clearing all this energy, if we're not being intentional about what we're calibrating to all the things that are clearing out, and that's when our nervous systems get really out of whack, right? So keep coming back into your center, back into being the creator of your experience by choosing your vibration and choosing that you're going to surrender everything else to source, to the earth, right? You're going to let go of what isn't real compared to that vibration that you want to be holding. And trust the process, right? Try to remind your mental body that it doesn't need to understand what's going to change. I know that's where I tend to get hung up. I try to think about, what is this going to mean if I calibrate to love? What's going to happen, right? Something really freaking great, because love is a great frequency. So see if you can be in that place of trust. I know it's a little intense out there right now. I'm sending you all so much love. I'll be moving into teaching my next New Earth Now class starting at the end of March. I'll share more about that in the coming weeks. But we're going to be clearing religion and spirituality, disempowering topics of religion and spirituality. And spoiler alert, a lot of the things that are creating dissonance in our masculine and feminine dynamic inside of us are religion-based. Time, money, all these different constructs came through when religion came through. And it's not that religion is bad, it's just that we're going to be doing some clearing around the disempowering elements of it and around spirituality. There are certain things around spirituality that can be very disempowering and discombobulating for us as well. And this weekend, I will be one of 3 workshop hosts, at the Art of Self-Love event. And I will be talking about the voice of self-love, and we're going to be clearing out all of these negative voices that we hold that are other people's voices that we've internalized that take us out of self-love and self-acceptance. I'm really excited about it. I also have Ruthie Cohen-Joyner, who's going to be doing some EFT tapping with us, and Kat Harmon, who's going to be doing some embodiment practices with us, and my husband Josh will be there doing some DJing for us. So it's going to be really great. I think we have like maybe 5 spots left in that workshop, so I'll put that link below this video too. I love you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this page if this was helpful. I do these little updates pretty much every Wednesday. Occasionally I might miss one, but pretty much every Wednesday. And comment, let me know how this feels for you, and have a great day. Bye.